need for strategic planning has never been more clear, nor frankly, more exciting. I would like to take a minute with this distinguished group to thank President Richard Doney for all that he's done for this university during his first 4 years. We're in the midst of a master planning process to develop plans for the next phase of our campus. My sense is that the planning process that kicked off in February produced a sense of community enthusiasm for considering the physical needs for AUC's future plans. But of course, a strategy for the institution must guide the plans for our campus rather than the other way around. And so strategic planning is absolutely critical to that effort.
To cope with this disruption, I think we've been very successful with our 7 or really 8 committees that have brought together students, some students, but especially faculty with the administration in looking at the challenges, making sure that whatever we do meets the needs of our core mission. We deliberately call it the Operational Excellence Initiative to show that this isn't an initiative just to cope, it isn't just to defend, it isn't to get by, it's to emerge from this crisis, to exploit this crisis, to show off to become stronger and let everybody in the world know our strengths. And I think we've got off to a terrific start. So far, we've, thanks to great effort by so many of the faculty, especially our Center for Learning and Teaching, and the resilience of our students, the pride of our students in continuing to stay associated with AUC, we've taken a challenge and turned it into a success. That's what lies before us, I think, to guide our planning coming up. We're not just coping with a stressful situation, we've got to take it and run with it and use it now to accomplish some of the things we haven't been as successful at.
We have the talent, perspective, and confidence to create a better future by becoming a more powerful university that balances its commitment to the highest quality of education and cutting-edge research. We will continue to create and disseminate knowledge and innovative ideas and focus our attention on the importance of the arts, humanities, and social sciences that are an integral part of our great university.
We're in an evolution mode. This is the starting of planning, and we're getting better with it as we go. Planning as well as integrated, as well as all of that. Clearly, we need to work together on all of this. I think this venue has proved very, very important and a great starting point to have these discussions and to align further and nurture on what we've already done today. We look forward to much more engagement in October as we formulate our coming plans for FY22, as well as start discussions with the provost and everyone else on how we're going to start formulating our actual strategic plan, our AUC coming strategic plan.
In normal planning processes, we look at where we are, where we want to be, and we create specific actions that will get us from point A to point B. But in a situation where we don't really have a clear vision of what the future looks like, we need to start looking at, first, what are the fundamental things that we need to think about? As we plan, we need to think beyond optimization. We need to think about creating options for the future. And I think that's a theme that I would want to leave you with. How can we embed in our plan options and experiments to learn and be ready for the future?
As I understand here, the limit for the face-to-face would be only for specific courses, which is fine with me, and I see that the necessity for that. However, to complement the quality of education, fairness in assessment is really very critical. Definitely, this is very important to many of us.
Our guiding principles were first and foremost health and safety and security of our community. We do not want to take risk, and this is how the recommendation is. It's a lower density campus scenario. Majority of the courses are offered online, with only few courses offered face-to-face. We have put definitely assessment as one of the key discussion points. When we get into a better situation and a better health situation, definitely assessments and a couple of other aspects like activities and freshman students are at the top of the tier 2 priorities for us.
I was just wondering, did you try to evaluate the impact of going online in spring on graduate programs? It also could be a blessing in disguise, because many of our graduate programs, recruitment for graduate programs face the difficulty of having many of our students, they have jobs that finish at 5 o'clock, so they cannot commute to campus on time. That this experience in the spring and maybe in next fall can open the way for considering offering part of our courses or some of our courses remotely, and this would, or mix where people can attend in AUC and some of them attending in class face-to-face and some of them joining in remotely.
What we've actually looked at in the spring is really the impact of going online to graduate programs through the different tools that AUC has established. And we do have, there is a bit of a mix, or not mixed, but a hybrid message. On one hand, some of the students who very much miss the face-to-face interactions in class, especially discussions, etc. And on the other hand, a significant portion of the graduate students actually found this far more convenient, because I said, it prevented them, or sort of made it easier for them to attend their classes without having to commute to campus and from campus after a long day of work.
The most important thing in the quality education is that the learning experience of our students was seen as being enhanced with three things. First of all, we improve the professional development of our faculty. We implement a rigorous and comprehensive teaching evaluation process. Number three, we would introduce within the curricula entrepreneurial workshops, how to teach entrepreneurial teaching, and again the learning spaces as well was part of it, and digital education was part of it. All of these was part of what we perceived as being the gap that came out of the task force.
We all know that without trust, fear is the only possibility. And when fear becomes the only possibility, resistance becomes the only outcome. So we do need to build a culture where assessment is the norm, and we need to make sure planning and decision-making are evidence-based.
The School of Science and Engineering will capitalize on its regional and international reputation and expertise for the sake of innovation, discovery, education, and adapting service of humanity, not just within Egypt or the MENA region, but globally as a global presence.
When we presented our first budget for 21, which was approved, that was before COVID-19, of course. In light of COVID-19, we brought it down twice. We brought it down 32% to what was approved for the next year. Now, when you bring a budget down a third, it's obviously going to have consequences. And if you compare it to last year's budget, it's actually 22% less than last year's budget, even though we're trying to do more. And even though if you add inflation, the purchasing power is significantly less.
We've changed and we've broken a number of silos at school. We're not there yet, we're not even close, but we're in a much, much better place. Silos will promote more interdisciplinarity. Silos can, by the way, be in a very simple way and form and shape by having people from the very same department sitting next to each other. And I don't see any reason for that. I cannot understand business programs moving successfully in the future if they do not have embedded in their program courses in innovation, courses in art, courses in psychology. That has nothing to do with business.
Student life, we aspire to be the leading provider of co-curricular education and student support for their success in Egypt and beyond.
Our efforts are trying to find resources for faculty to try to internationalize the student body, support the employability, comply with laws, and try to get U.S. government support, help the boards of trustees. Everything that's sort of in this division and area is about sort of helping other people be successful in the great faculty members of the institution.
Throughout the couple of days, we've heard on many occasions the automation being a priority, paperless being a priority. We are trying to move from being an enabler to being a full partner with the academic side in charting the course for our for AUC going forward.
So we basically we aim to put in place robust and efficient processes. We also want to remain in line with global trends, and we always strive to basically provide best value to meet our institutional goals.
I think both the Centennial and the COVID-19 exercise created actually a little bit of a positive sense on campus. People were excited, people came together to meet this challenge, and we saw some of the very best of AUC on display. So part of what we're going to be trying to do is how do we kind of capture that, build a little bit on the positive feeling and help the community from the inside have those same positive stories that we are trying to present on the outside.
We care so much about branding AUC. And that centralization, I think, at some point harms us, because I think we have a lot of value in the schools and in the departments. Do we have any plans in the future to move towards branding more of our schools and university and our departments?
I think we need to introduce and build the concept of a customer service. Within finance area, we are supporting faculty, staff, alumni, external vendors, parents, students. So we need to build a customer service culture within the finance area.
We had these meetings with each dean and area head separately to discuss the ways of utilizing, optimizing, and allocation of the current human resources and how we can do differently and efficiently with the current resources.
I'm very, very happy with the exercise that has taken us the last 10 hours. I came into AUC a year ago and I was looking into a budget. And now we are talking about 3 years strategic plan with financial projection, where we look back into 3 years of retrospective numbers.
I'd really like to thank every great person, every great mind that was with us today and yesterday. We really appreciate your active engagement. We really appreciate your time away from your kids, your family, your whatever. It was really very valuable to all of us.